A lot of people are using ChatGPT these days to book their travel and figure out where they're going to go in Portugal. So we thought that we would take a look and see just how accurate is ChatGPT for helping guide you. This is the top 10 cities that ChatGPT says you should visit in Portugal for 2025, and here are our reactions.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, Viana do Castelo 100% makes sense that it's on the list. It's actually one of our favorite cities in terms of a place to live.
It's a nice place to visit though. It's smaller, but their downtown area is really cute. I am surprised. I think 10 is okay, but I think it could be a little higher on the list.
So a couple of things that are interesting to do there is that they have like a monastery or chapel, or not
high,
chapel.
yeah.
I think it's a monastery, really up high. So it has an amazing view of the city down below. You also get sea views. And then that's the other thing that's really nice about the city is it's on the coast. So you do have kind of, I don't want to say it's a beachy feel in terms of Viana do Castelo as a town. If you want the beach and you want access to water, you've got it.
Now I would say only in the summer months would that be good for the beach side of things, because since it's further north in Portugal, if you're going to come in maybe a shoulder season or in the winter, then it might be cool and rainy, so not if you want to go to the beach.
Let's find out why chat said Viana do Castelo. I don't know. I mean, like the Minho region as far as tourism.
But also too, I mean, you can very easily get to the Minho region from Porto.
Sure.
It's closer. So I don't know why you would go there as like a starting point. So I don't think that's valid reasons or arguments to why you should go there. I think ours are better.
Well, I think if like you're trying to take like a month-long trip and you're wanting to do it in the most efficient way because it's so far north, it's like you start there and then you work your way down. So you end up somewhere down in Algarve.
You could. I don't think that's a great argument, but you should still go visit there.
Now, how long should someone be there? I would say you could probably do it in a day.
Oh, that's a little harsh.
But maybe 2 days. You could see everything. Yeah, you could see everything in Viana do Castelo in a day.
Right, but I do think you should give it like a weekend, a couple nights.
The lack of real tourism that goes there is actually a plus. Unless that you catch it on one of the
festivals,
the medieval festivals. Yeah.
Well, they have little festivals that happen in the downtown area, so it could get quite busy if you're there for a medieval festival. But I think it's a great venue, or a great downtown for it. So yeah, so there will be more people, but it is more of like, I think, Portuguese and Spanish tourists.
Ooh, number 9, Monserrat.
Interesting.
Well, I think Monserrat gives a lot of like cool historical feel. It's very small, right?
Yeah.
It's very, very small. So finding a place to stay there could be challenging. But again, it's so remote that there's not a lot of tourism. Like you would definitely be going off the beaten path, more so than Viana do Castelo.
Right, yeah. So if you want to do something like that, then that is a good place to go. But I would definitely need a car. Like you need a car for that place. Okay, medieval for sure.
Yeah.
Wine lovers, you have a lot of places in Portugal that are good for wine lovers. So
Agreed.
there might be better places, I think, than that.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a weak argument when you're trying to talk about like a top 10 list and put wine in there as a reason to go to Monserrat.
It would not be on my top 10 list, so I am kind of surprised that it's there.
Fair. I'll be curious to see if this is the only spot in Alentejo.
I'll be curious as well, because there could potentially be better places.
I think though, in a way, it could be indicative of what Alentejo offers. Like instead of looking at like the 2 more major cities of Alentejo, like it gives that small town feel, tons of history and culture.
We'll see though. I'm gonna bet that Évora is on the list, but we'll see.
We'll see. Okay, Ponta Delgada, interesting. At 8, I think that's fair. It could have been higher.
I think higher, yeah.
Okay.
I am kind of surprised that it's at 8, but it should definitely be on the list.
Here's the problem, like if one is trying to craft, let's say a 4-week or even 2-week trip to Portugal, it's
another
really
flight.
It's really difficult to put one of the islands on that list.
I agree. It's another
worth
flight.
a visit though.
It definitely is. Like, I think it warrants being on the list, but if you have time. If you're only here for 2 weeks and you're really trying to see a lot of Portugal, you got to stick to the mainland, but it's definitely worth a visit.
Some of the things that I love about the Azores and Ponta Delgada on São Miguel Island is the fact that you can be there, and if you're renting a car, you can get to some of the other spots that are really interesting. So that could be cool.
You could try to plan it on your entry or exit to Portugal to Europe as well. Like if you're coming from the US, it could be like a midway point, So if you do want to see it, you could stop there for a few days and then come to the mainland or on your way back. So you could kind of craft your vacation around that just to catch it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I think if you're going to say like Crater Lakes, it's not actually in Ponta Delgada. You're talking more Set Cidade, which is a bit of a drive away. Maybe you could get Uber to take you there, but you could rent a car or get tour bus or maybe van to go out that way.
Yeah, I think that if you're going to spend a couple days there and you want to get out of the city, then you definitely want a car. And I think you should have a car because you can explore the island a bit more and beautiful things about the island, not just about Ponta Delgada.
Yeah, I would agree. I think if you're going to go to Ponta Delgada, you should rent a car.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's beautiful. It has history. It's vibrant with the university students, and you see a lot of the university culture there and what they do, like with playing the music and walking around on the capes. So yeah, Coimbra definitely should be on the list.
Coimbra is small though, so I think that would have to be taken into consideration, but it should be on the list, I agree. I think it's worth a couple of days to visit. There are some decent hotels there. I don't think that there are any like epic hotels.
I don't think so either. But I mean, just expect to walk a lot, especially if you're in the old city, then a lot of stairs or like, uphill type things, but you want to get up to the top and you want to see where the university is and the library and everything up there. So just expect to walk on maybe some uneven pavements and stuff.
Yeah.
But also being down by the river is nice too.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe like 4 of the things that chat might say will be draws to Coimbra would be the historic downtown, the university. Then you also have the river beaches, I guess. And then across the river from the main city is that Pequeninos Park. Pequeninos,
yeah, if
whatever.
you have kids.
I can't remember the name of it, but yeah.
If you have kids, then that would be a good place to go to. Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
I mean, you can obviously find Faro in other places as well, but the fact that it does have a local twist is nice, so that makes it unique. And then, of course, the university is a big selling point.
Yeah, it is. And the students add a lot to kind of the cultural vibe there, which make it interesting for tourism. And it's not always like that every place you go, where students can make the tourists feel so like vibey.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? Like watching them play music and stuff like that. It's really interesting.
Yeah, I wouldn't describe it as like a university town that we would think, because it's not like that at all.
No.
It's quite mixed with the demographics, but the university students really play into the culture that you'll get there. Aha, I told you. I knew it. Of course, it's always on the list.
Chapel of Bones.
Yes, and the Roman ruins and everything. So yes, go there. Just be careful if you go there in the summer, because it will get hot because it's inland. So depending on when you're coming might be if you want to visit ever or not.
Yeah, there's a ton of culture there. The food in Alentejo is great. The wine there is great. I mean, some of the most affordable wine in the country.
Yep. I'm not surprised it's on the list.
No, I'm not surprised either. I think that Beja for me is like a more interesting option. Maybe if you get rid of no, it won't be. Maybe if you got rid of Monserrat and you kept with Évora and Monserrat. But it's interesting, 2 places out of Alentejo that made the top 10.
Yeah,
that
is
seems
interesting.
Not right.
Suspect.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. I mean, those are the 2 things that you have to go see when you're there. It's why you go there.
How many days? 2? Oh yeah, absolutely.
Is that a city though? I thought we were in cities.
I mean, these are places, right? So yeah, the interesting thing is like when you say Douro Valley, you're talking about a region, let's say, where when you're choosing where to stay or where to visit, you've got a lot of options. You've got a lot of options to stay. You could rent an Airbnb. You could stay at one of the 5-star hotels that are in the area. They've got some super luxe hotels. Or you could stay at more humble accommodations, actually at a quinta, an estate that has wine. The main thing to do there is relax, views of the river, and then wine tours.
Of course. So I'm surprised it's on the list just because I was thinking more of cities. And this is, well, obviously there are like towns there. This, yeah, like you said, is a bit more of a region. But I'm actually very happy that it's on the list. I definitely think you should go visit Douro Valley if you're here on a trip.
I mean, I think if the prompt is like, what 10 places should I visit in Portugal, I can see why it's ended up on the list.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, it would easily be in my top 5.
Yeah, definitely. I think if you're going to look for a place there, Pinhão is probably the best, most popular town that's there because you can take the little river cruise, like the small hour boats there. And then if you have someone drive you or you take the train, you could easily stay there and walk to several quintas so you don't have to worry about wine tasting and driving.
Yeah, exactly. And it could be a day trip from Porto as well.
Yes.
So that's something to consider. Yeah, exactly. And it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Look at the sheer beauty.
It's beautiful.
It's unreal. What a backdrop. Lagos, okay.
Okay.
There had to be somewhere in Algarve.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's another one. But
Okay.
I don't know if I'd have it at 4.
Would you have it in the top 10?
I can see why it's in the top 10, but
Okay.
maybe I wouldn't have it at 4. Again, it depends on when you visit. It
Yeah.
will get busy in the summertime, but if you like the beach and you like outdoor sports, you're active, then it is a nice place to be.
Yeah, I think it's great for young people. It's got a backpacker kind of vibe. It's an interesting place from kind of that demographic mix. There's not a ton to do, but there's definitely enough to do for a couple of days.
I would view it more as like a beach type vacation, right? Like if you want to relax and have beach and water sports and like that outdoorsy along the water type vacation or a few days out of the vacation like that, then Lagos could be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I mean,
the nightlife. The nightlife is quite well known. I think that a lot of Brits will come over. They'll fly from the UK to Faro, and then they'll usually catch the train, maybe rent a car or bus, and go to Lagos.
It does have good nightlife, but I think I wouldn't let that scare you if you're thinking I don't want nightlife at all. It's still a good place to be. You would just want to carefully choose your accommodation.
I think it's interesting that it's called a major tourist destination.
Yeah, I don't know if that feels like hyperbole.
It does. Like, I would be very interested to see the statistics on how many people actually visit per year or whatever compared to some of the other cities.
Right.
Maybe it is the Brits coming over and doing their stag and
so then of course it
hen
keeps their
parties.
charm because people visit. I think when you have a city or a town that has a lot of tourism, it's easier to keep its charm because like that's why people are going for that. So you want to keep the charm. It's when people move there and live there that could change the charm. So I think if it's on the top list for places to visit, then it makes sense that the charm remains.
That's an interesting argument.
Woo!
Porto, top 3.
Top 3.
I'm surprised it wasn't 1 or 2, just based on volume. But yeah, top 3, fine.
That's true. Yeah, I guess so. It should be, I mean, you would imagine Lisbon's 1 and Porto should have been 2. So it'll be interesting to see which one is in there.
I think it's going to be Sintra and Lisbon, but let's not jump ahead of the... Yeah.
But Porto definitely should be on the list, especially if you don't have much time, then Porto is a place to go because it's a city, but it's not an overwhelmingly big city. And then you have the perks of it being a city with a river and also the coast, so you have the Atlantic. So it just offers a lot. There's a lot to do here.
Yeah, and I think 2 to 3 days being here, you can check out the major sites. You can even go into 1 or 2 of them. You can also do port wine tours. There's that on offer just within the city. So a couple of days in Porto, you'll be able to kind of scratch the surface of what there is to offer, but you'd hit the highlights.
And like you said, you could stay in Porto and do a day trip to the Douro. So unless you're wanting like more of a relaxing type feel along the Douro and you want to spend a couple days out in that region, you don't necessarily have to. You could just go ahead and do a day from Porto and experience like the wine tastings and it'll be a full day, but you could do that as well. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's interesting that's the selling point for visiting, but like it's not like because of the things that are here, but it's like comparing it to a different city, which I don't love that because I think that it has its own unique selling points for why you should come here, not cost related or people related, tourist related, but it is true.
Yeah, that's legit though. I agree with that, but I also agree with you as that shouldn't be the unique selling point. I think that Porto does get its fair share of tourists. It's in a very concentrated area. But, you know, when a lot of people come here, especially when the weather's nice, they'll say there's just some sort of like magic in the air. And honestly, that's what captured us the first time we visited here back in 2009. So yeah.
Ah, you're right.
There you go. Sintra.
It is going to be Sintra and Lisbon.
Sintra and Lisbon.
Okay, yes, definitely. Sintra is definitely a place that you should visit. It's beautiful. It is charming. I think when you think of the word charming because of the castles and everything, and they've preserved that, it's a beautiful place to visit.
Yes, and I think when people visit a country and they're wanting to get to know like a few locations, you have to look at a couple of factors. One is like, where's the culture and history? And Sintra's got that. And two, how easy is it to get there?
Yeah.
So the fact that most people are probably coming into Lisbon first and using Lisbon as their jumping off point, and then they're looking like, where can I day trip or where can I go for a couple days from here? Sintra's right there. So it's like, we'll just go there, as opposed to making more effort to come up north and go to Porto, for example.
Right, I agree. So you could have a car or you could take the train there, and that would be easy as long as you stay in more of the city center area. You don't want to have an accommodation that's a little further out because that'll be a lot of walking, but if you don't have a car especially, but you could get there easily from Lisbon, that's true. Yeah, it has a little bit of everything there.
Yeah, exactly. You've got an old town as well, but I think the main thing that people go for are the palaces and just be able to see kind of that aesthetic that you don't find everywhere in Europe and you definitely don't find in North America, or at least not in the U.S. I guess maybe there's some stuff in Canada that could be similar.
I do like that they use the term fairy tale because I think that really captures what it would be like when you're there, when you see the castles and when you see the beautiful architecture. I would say fairy tale is a very good adjective to use.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, as I was saying, like the proximity is so helpful. And then the fact that, Chat points out that there's this variety that you get. You leave Lisbon, which feels like a city, although there's parts of Lisbon that'll give you a different feel and feel like a different world. But for sure, you're transported when you go to Sintra.
Yeah, and it's not that far. And it's green. So that's another thing that I think is really nice about it is you see a lot of the greenery.
And it's easy to actually be a tourist there because there are a lot of tour guides.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had to be. It had to be.
No surprise there. Okay,
Can't argue with it.
It does make sense though that Lisbon would be one and Sintra two because of the things we talked about. Like if you do start in Lisbon or even end in Lisbon, Sintra is very easy to get to. So you can kind of get two different feels of two different cities and it's easy.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think as people are trying to build out their itineraries, and we've kind of talked about this for each city, or I tried to bring it up. It's like, how many days is this place worth? And if you think about, someone coming over on a 3-day trip, they might just do Lisbon.
Yeah.
But if they extend it to 5 days, they'll do Lisbon and Sintra. And if they do 7 days, it'll be the top 3. And if you're talking about extending it even further, like 2 weeks or a month, then you can start to capture most everything on this list except Ponta Delgada.
And then the time of year too, I think is dependent. I mean, Lisbon is going to be fine any time of year, but I think like we talked about with Lagos, if you don't want it to be really hot or touristy, summer could be tricky. Viana do Castelo, if you're here in the winter, then it might be too cold and rainy. So just keeping in mind when you're coming and how long you have.
And the thing about Lisbon is like any European or most all European capital cities, whereby there's everything to do. You have a wide variety of restaurants. So yes, you should try the local cuisine. You should try different Portuguese foods. But if you're here for several days, then at some point you're going to be like craving something else. You'll be able to find that in Lisbon readily available. You also have the home of the pastel de nata, which is the most famed Portuguese export, I think, other than Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, Ronaldo.
So you've got that going on. You've got music festivals that happen and other international acts that you've got. So Lisbon does have it all, especially for tourism.
And you can rest assured that you can speak English the whole time there. So if that's a concern, or of course when you're a tourist, you want to revert to the language that you know. Really, Lisbon, Sintra, and Porto, you'll be fine, but definitely in Lisbon.
In the tourist district. I agree with Chat on this in that, yes, there are museums to visit, so you've got that cultural aspect. You've got some absolutely stunning views that you can have of the city, a variety of spots that you can go to check out the city and rooftops and everything. The problem is to get stuff like that, you got to have a lot of hills. So Lisbon's quite hilly in that.
Be prepared. But also too, the trams or trolleys are iconic. While it is touristy, it's at least something that you want to take a picture by or ride.
If you go to Parque das Nações, you're going to feel like you've been transported into a different part of the world.
New, modern,
yeah.
right?
And over there, you have a major tourist attraction in the Oceanarium. Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then compared to like a Chiado, where it's a lot older, more narrow type streets, hillier.
Chiado, Alfama.
Yeah.
You've got Fado music. Okay, so this is an interesting thing because a lot of people will champion Lisbon as having a sea or ocean proximity, access. Like chat says, you have to go to Costa de Caparica or you have to go to Cascais.
Which aren't that close if you think about it.
Yeah, you have to make a real plan to go there.
And if you're driving, there's traffic or you have to check the train schedule. So this is where I think Porto is actually better for beach access because of Porto's proximity to the beach compared to Lisbon's proximity.
You just hop on the metro. Okay, so some blind spots that I think chat had. I don't see how you can make a top 10 and not have Madeira on there. If you're going to have Ponta Delgada, how do you not have Madeira?
That is true. Yeah, because actually Madeira is potentially a little easier to get to than Ponta Delgada as far as time and everything. So yeah, if you're going to have Ponta Delgada on there, you should have Madeira.
Yeah.
I agree. They did miss that.
All right, overall though, how do you think chat did?
There were some surprises for me, some that I wouldn't have on the list, but overall, I think it makes sense what's on there.
Yeah, but what would you rate it out of 10?
Okay, I would give chat 7 or 8, 7.5.
Ooh, okay, we're going with 0.5. No, I'm gonna say 7. I think that chat did quite well on putting together 10 cities that you could reasonably hit up in a month. I didn't agree with all of the reasoning.
Yeah.
So I think it could have been better in that way. We definitely found out though that chat does better with tourism than with choosing a place to live.
Yeah, definitely.
So we actually made a video about that, and when it's ready, you can click on that here, or you can check out other Expats Everywhere videos that YouTube thinks that you should watch next. Now let's get moving.
Bye.
Bye.